Good day. Unless you don't know me, my name is Christy, and I'm presenting this together with Elizabeth. I'm going to start with the introduction, and we'll finish up with a quick overview of the OASIS process and its accessibility. Elizabeth will be giving you an overview of the home page, the visit note, and the assessment. I will interject as I see fit. What we would like to do is PTAs continue to watch until the end of the visit note is completed. The evaluating therapists will watch until the end of the assessment, and any of the others that do start of cares or any OASISs will continue to the end. Firstly, we are very excited to be part of this rollout, as eventually this is going to be a more efficient and user-friendly option. We will be going live as of 11/1/16, which is Tuesday next week. That means that all of your patients will be transferred into this new format as of the 1st of November. In other words, we will no longer be using the old format for any of our notes. The website will change, so you will be receiving a new URL or web address. Your username and password will remain the same. We will forward you the details closer to the live date. Highlights. This is a new look. It's easier to navigate. It's bolder and easier to read. Good part of this is that synchronizing has been removed. That means all your information or updates will be available immediately. No longer will you need to wait 45 minutes. All of this is in real time. The plan of care is no longer separate. The plan of care will be found within each evaluation, which makes it much easier, as you will not need to navigate to a different area. Forms for each one of the evals will be preset. For example, when you need to discharge a patient, there may be a visit note and summary that would be needed to be completed, and these will be preset. If the note is incomplete, the system will not allow you to sign and submit a note. If this is the case, you will see a validation error, and this will alert you under the incomplete section. The validation error is hyperlinked, so when you see this, you can click on the item and it will take you to the missing section. Signatures will now be an electronic password, so that will simplify the process. The signature currently will be the password that you use to access this URL. You will be able to change your password, and Elizabeth will be explaining that to you further along. The incomplete document section is at the top of the home page, which is good because this will alert you immediately of what needs to be completed. This is different from previously, where it was at the bottom of the home page. Just like Kinza, notes can be returned for review with comments. You'll be able to comment back, and you will see them in the incomplete documentation section. Some of these notes may just be for your signature only, and these will be in the incomplete section. As you can see, Elizabeth will be going through these. I'm just summarizing what she'll be discussing. Overall, another highlight is it's much easier to view on an iPhone or an iPad because it shrinks. Therapists will be able to complete the note on any device. So that concludes the introduction. Elizabeth will be following up with the training piece, and she will start off with the homepage. Thank you.
Thank you. What we're going to go now is we're going to see, this is the now updated homepage. As you can see, there's different sections, but the most important right now is up here is your username. And in this section, if we were to click this, it actually changes, it allows you to change your password and log out of the system. As we continue, you can see the incomplete section is available here with the patient's names and each of the incomplete documents that are pending. So any demographics, assessments, plan of care, visits, and so on. These sections are hyperlinked, so if we actually click on visit notes for Campbell, it actually shows us the 2 visits that are pending. We are able to actually click on that, and it hyperlinks. Again, it sends us to the page that is pending, and we are able to see this section and complete it as needed. The other good thing is that we could actually filter out each of these sections to show only what's required and started documents or awaiting signature. Another section that is available is a face-to-face. This is more for the nurses, but it shows us when the next visit is due for this doctor. The other sections that are available are therapy queue, and it shows us in this section what the 30-day or the discharge is, the next discharge or 30-day is going to be. If we click on the calendar view under My Schedules, it actually shows us our own schedule for each of the for each of the IPOC patients. So again, these sections are all hyperlinked. You could actually select any of these visits, and it'll take you automatically to the visit. The thing that's important about this calendar is this section up here, which is the show legend. This legend shows us what each of these little colors means. So in this one, everything is pink, so that means that it's been scheduled for us. If it were confirmed, it would be green. Excuse me, if it were processed, it would be a lighter shade of brown/purple. The other thing we want to go over on My Schedule, it's going to be the same as before. You're going to be seeing you're scheduled for today. If you click on the play button, it actually takes us directly to the note itself, which we'll be going over a little bit later. You will also see the next 7 days, what's scheduled for tomorrow, and the most important right now, which is a new option that's available, is your date range. If we were to select a date range, it actually shows us we want to see anything that was scheduled from the 21st to the 24th. It shows you all your patients for that schedule, so you do have that availability. Another thing that you would see is My Patients. Same as before, you have your current patients and all patients, but a new option that is available is Request a Chart. So you don't have to hunt down through all your patients just to find a patient in particular. You do have the availability to search. Excuse me. Something that you see on here is the same thing as before, a research due, on hold, patients with medication, and patients with drug interactions, which is all information that was previously available to you. It's just now in a different location. Last, from the home page, you'll see My Documents. The thing about My Documents is that it's only for interim full-time employees only. Please feel free to disregard this section. Now we're going to go over the top options. We have Home, Client, About, and Link Mail. We'll go over a little bit later on Client, but for right now, let's go over the About page. The only reason you would need to click and select the About page would be for when you're getting technical support and they ask you for the version, which is available down here, of the IPOC that you're using or the point of care that you're using. The other information that you need is the Link Mail, which shows us, which is something that you've seen before. So again, About, it's the only reason you would use it is for support, and Link Mail, which is something that you already know. At this point, please make sure that you confirm the attendance of the training. Please send an email to Elizabeth at tnresources.com with the top heading as Point of Care Update and the subject that you completed the training. You will need this in order to confirm your attendance for this training video. Next, we're going to go under clients. And this section actually now allows us to search for the patient by name. And all I did was click on clients, and now we're able to search. We're going to go into the actual website. So let's look for a patient. Campo Christine. We're able to select the patient and it shows us the main information. Again, same as before, the same information that was available to you, it's just in a different view. We have demographics, plan of care, care note, assessment, schedule, medication, and diagnosis, and admission documents. The information is all the same, it's just in a different location. The demographics, the one thing that you do need to know is that you do have the option to edit some of the information on here, and it's pending QA approval. And the reason you would use it is, let's say if there's a large dog or the patient stays with a family over the weekend and you want to input that information, you do have that availability. The plan of care, Chrissy will be talking about that a little bit further. Care notes. The care notes, you're actually able to filter what you see in from these sections. So visit note, if you only want to see your visit notes, if you only want to see your missed visits, if you only want to see any communication notes, or if you want to see them all. These are some of the notes that have been input or pending for this patient. The one thing that you need to know is the status. In each section, it actually shows you what the status is. So if it's in progress, if it hasn't been started, or if it's awaiting QA. There's different forms of status, so please make sure that you're paying attention to them. The next information that I want to show you is the incomplete notes. It actually shows you for this particular patient any notes that have not been completed or are in progress, so please make sure that you are paying attention to that.
And that will show up on your homepage as well.
Correct. So care notes. We're going to add a visit right now. So all you have to do is either you could have clicked on the patient in the front page and click that play button, or you could actually add a visit. And it allows you to go ahead and select the visit that you're doing. So we're going to be doing one for the 21st. All you have to do is select it, and we're going to hit save. Oh.
But you know, remember, of course, we're just doing this now as an example, but you don't go ahead and add your own visits.
Correct.
Those visits will be set up by the back office depending on your schedule. Okay?
Yeah.
So we don't add our own visits. It's just showing you. Essentially, it's the same as what we had before.
Yeah,
Okay.
You definitely want to hit that play button. Okay, and then this is the different, it's the same questions that you had before, it's just in a different format. You actually have the option of either going through each section and answering each of the questions and hitting next, which actually saves the program for you. And they're available on the top or on the bottom, or if you want to go through each of the sections, all you have to do is select the sections up here, and you will see each of those sections, which you can select, and they will hyperlink you to that section. So you answer the questions as needed, and again, you have the option of going through each of the sections as you go along.
And as you can see, the content of each one of these notes is exactly the same as what we were using in the past.
Yeah.
It's just clearer, it's bolder, it's easier to manage.
Yeah. When you get to the medical visit billing code, just hit next. This is not something that you would normally answer because it's automatic for your section. So when you get to the medical visit billing code, just click on next. This is more of a nursing question. Okay, and you're going to answer each of the questions. And again, it's easy to do with the time. Let's say I saw this patient for 4 to 5, and I took the patient's I took the patient's temperature at 4. I would just go ahead.
Military, I think. Military time.
Military time,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, so you document the time that you actually took the vital, whatever time that was.
And I'm
Okay,
probably
that'll be like
killing.
once- okay,
I'm probably
that's fine.
killing this patient because I tend to do that.
You're doing great. Okay, that's fine.
And I'm probably giving this patient a bad pulse and a bad temperature. But you're gonna make sure that you
The oral, you're not doing rectal. No. Okay.
that you're
Alright.
answering each of the questions that it's giving you.
Now just know that there'll be prescribed fields that you will have to answer. And if you don't answer those fields, they will come up as a validation error. So just be aware of that. We're not sure exactly which fields will be prescribed because the owner and the DON are actually working on that, but there will be fields that are more significant than others.
The good thing about this now, and if you see this section over here, and this is available on any of the screens that you'll see, this is more for the history. And you could actually view the history of this patient. I'm sure I won't have much information, but for right now, as you go along, what you'll notice is an actual graph will start to show. But it does show you what the previous input has been. So you do have that option to look at the previous history on each of the sections. So if you click on this gear/daisy, you could actually view the sections, previous history, and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay.
So essentially the visit is the same, just the format's a little bit different.
Correct.
Okay?
You could click save on the very top. Once you're completed with this, and you'll notice that the sign and submit is available. There's edits, there's print, there's previous versions, which Christy will go over further along. What you want to know about this is that when you sign and submit, automatically you'll see this, which is now your signature for this patient. The same thing as your username and password that you were using is going to be the same password that you're going to be using in this section.
And of course that's just initially. You can change your password as needed.
Correct.
Do you want to just reinforce where that is?
And that's available up here where you could just change your password, which is in this section. Okay. Let's say you're asked by, oh, you know what? I'll go over that section a little bit later. Okay. The other thing that you need to know about this section is, let's say you're asked by QA to fix a note. Okay. What you want to do is that you want to, I'll go back into that section. What you want to do is that you want to select the visit note that you're being asked by QA to correct. And you want to recall the visit. If you recall the visit, you're going to have to put in your password, and it'll take you back to the visit so that you could go ahead and edit it. And this is also that you can make the corrections that are needed. Again, it says version 2, which Christy will go on and explain a little bit further, but this is going to be the second vision. So in order to edit, you see I can't select anything. You actually have to click the word edit in order to make the changes to this. The good thing about it is that you could also show only changes, changed questions, and it'll show you exactly what each of those sections are. That have need change by QA, and they'll specify it.
And then you just save it.
Mm-hmm.
You just save it.
If you've made the corrections that need to be made, go ahead and save it. And this
And and then you can sign and submit.
Correct. Sign and submit. Okay. And
Go back to the home page.
Okay, so now PTAs are able to leave.
Right. So we've covered what we need to with the assistant therapists.
Correct.
Thank
Now
you.
we're going to go into...
Thank you.
Thanks. Now we're going to go into the assessment section. In order to create an assessment, it's right below an assessment section. All you have to do is, again, select it from here and hit that play button. Or you could actually add the visit and select the one that's required.
Right. And in this case, you can add it. But when this is assigned to you as a visit, that should just pop up for you, and it should be in that section. You just have to click on it, and it'll open for you. It'll be very straightforward, and you'll see that. We're going to go ahead and do an occupational therapy assessment.
All I've done is selected the date, selected the type of form that I'm going to be using. And again, same process as before. The same thing as the note. You're going to fill out each of these sections. And it has for initial supervisory 30-day. And we're going to be clicking next. And if you want, again, it saves automatically, or you can actually hit the save button up here. Once you're finished with this,
We've also got this
the plan of care, I apologize. The plan of care is now part of this section.
hurrah!
So you no longer have to be hunting and looking for each section. It's actually now part of this section.
Problems and interventions. Oh, whoopsie, here we go. And it's exactly the same. We're just going to open that so you can take a look-see as what we were dealing with before. And drop down. It's not letting me drop down. Okay. It does drop down. You've got the same choices as before. And of course, we want to go with the OT functional impairment that we used before with all the problems, interventions, and well done, well done. Here we go. So that's it for the...
Oh wait, this is
therapy one.
occupational
So let's do
therapy eval.
occupational. There we go. And you'll recognize the format of this. It's identical to what we've been using up until now. Okay? So the great thing is it's part of the note. You won't have the option to forget it. Okay, and we can just hit okay. And then just save it. Great. So let's go back to the sections again and just see if there's anything else.
You could actually view what you've just created, and it's available there. And all I did was click on the white section.
Okay, let's open the sections again. So that's what makes it so easy to navigate, is this left-hand open section with all the details. Okay.
Okay.
Same thing,
Save, and once you're finished with adding the plan of care, which is now available in your evaluation, you could go ahead and sign and submit, just like before.
Yep.
Again, your password is the same thing as your electronic signature. And it's available for QA review.
Great.
Now we're going to go back and do a discharge.
So I'll really pull. This is I'll include this in the OASIS section. Okay.
Okay, so then I'll hand it over to Chrissy. Thank you very much. And she'll go over the rest of the sections with you.
Okay. So now the therapists that do not do OASISes, which I can't imagine there are many of you, can leave. Okay. So creating an OASIS. Just know that if you are doing an OASIS note, you should see it under your assigned notes, and should be able to click on that. Otherwise, you can add your note, and the way in which you would do that is to click on Show ACES Types Only. Let's just start with a start of care, and of course I'm going to have to put the date in here, and then of course save. Alright, so this is identical to what we've done in the past. The good thing, this will take us directly to the content of the start of care. Okay. What's useful about this is you can click on the sections drop down, and you will see here that this identifies all the different sections within the note. Okay. So if I needed to go to anywhere specific, like take for instance musculoskeletal, I could just click on that, seeing as that's relevant for us. Patient has sciatica, spinal stenosis, so common with the elderly, and musculoskeletal surgery. Okay. Right, and so it's the same thing where you're just navigating to your next note and would need to complete. All right. So I'm going to go back to sections so you can just take a look at that. And again, there's a frequency and duration. Toward the end of the note, changes in orders, and we would add the frequency here. All right. I'm going to go to the previous note as well, where you'll see the plan of care. The plan of care is part of this note, so we don't have to navigate to a different section. Let's click on that, and of course for us we're going to choose PT, physical mobility impairment. If it's OT, they will have the same. Let's see that right now. Okay, and then I'm going to hit add. Okay, and you will recognize this drop down here. It's exactly the same as the one we've been using up until now. Okay, your problems, your goals, and here your interventions. Okay, all right. So I'm going to just save that. All right, very good. And here you can also see the OT, physical mobility impairment, which is exactly the same as before. All right. Now, essentially, all the assessments are the same. The research is the same as before. The access to the research is the same as before. So you're going to click on the drop-down. You're going to click on Show OASIS Types Only. And for the research, you would click on this one. For the discharge, you would click on this one. All right? And those are essentially the only three that we ever use. Start of care, research, and discharge.
Although it's not available right now, in the future you will see a selection where the forms are preset for you, and all you have to do is for each of the types just go ahead and select the form. There's no need to select from the drop-down box, which will be an option that will be current. That's not active right now, but will be turned on soon.
Okay, and also part of the start of care, of course, you'd need to add your medication profile, which is exactly the same as before. Easy to navigate.
And you could also select it from the actual note itself as well.
Right. Okay. I think that's everything that we need to include. All right. So just feel free if you need to call. If you have any questions, please call us. We are expecting you to send us an email that you have gone through the training. And of course, you can include any questions on that email as well for either Elizabeth or myself. And just feel free to call us, and just appreciate your time and effort with us. I think it's going to be, I'm very encouraged by this, because I think it's just going to be so much more efficient and user-friendly, especially as this is all in real time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.